It's time to talk prices, specifically the price Nintendo will have to pay for royally pissing off so many people. Hi, I'm the Awesome GN, and I am a stupid moron who's going to buy the Switch 2 day one, and buy some of its titles as soon as I can. I am what Nintendo likes to call easy pickings, a wallet with a mouth and hands that can play our video games, or my specific favorite phrase of all time, a gobshite. As a gobshite, it is my job to buy this game, and then the next game and the next game and fund Nintendo with my undying loyalty. Look, let's just get down to business, consume the soy. The thing about the pricings here is that for the console, I disagree with the anger. Nintendo could have been smarter in some areas. I definitely think that the microphone should have been an add-on instead of something required with the system, like the camera was, just to make it a separate thing you can buy on day one as well. But as for the rest of it, it's a pretty fair price. The internal storage means that you won't be buying any sort of new SD cards for at least a good couple of years, so that's one thing not being covered. Then the Switch 2's Joy-Cons are a lot more durable. You're probably not going to need to buy another pair of them unless you really want to play like 4-player Mario Party. So once again, another thing that disappears. Then mix that together with a far higher power, far better quality, far better runtimes, and just far better everything, and yes, an increase the price from the last system is kind of fair. Now we get on to the games. Nintendo, from what I've seen of Mario Kart World, I agree with you. That game, if there was to be one, is worth the $80. However, you've never priced things at their value, have you? If you were pricing things how they should be valued, you wouldn't have fucking made the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD port cost the full $60. This screams, to me, like greed. Like disgusting greed. Like Nintendo are a bunch of stinky, smelly cunt bags who smell bad and are cunts. Fuck them. I love you. I'm one of the first to be in line to suck your dick over something, but here I do have to say, this is disgusting. I'm still gonna buy it, and I admit that I am shitty for doing so. I am a bad person for saying that this is an okay thing to do with my wallet. But hear my words. This is a hostage situation. Nintendo is using the 18 years of my goddamn life to pressure me into buying this. Blame them, don't blame me. The biggest, most worrying thing here is how this will affect the rest of the gaming industry. Because if Nintendo thinks that their game is worth this much money, which it is, what do you think the rest of them will say? The next fucking NBA 2K fucking horseshit sports game like that, the next FIFA that isn't FIFA anymore, it's EA Sports Football or whatever, the next one of those cannot cost 80 or 90 or fucking 100. This could be the beginning of a new era in video game pricings which are even fucking worse. I thought the $70 was worrying. I thought the $70 was pushing it, but just about acceptable. But this is disgusting. Not as disgusting as the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 dock set costs $110, but you know, still pretty disgusting. Donkey Kong Bonanza's price of $70 mostly seems fair. It really does depend on how many layers there are to this game, and I mean layers in the quite literal sense because you are exploring multiple layers of an underground area, you know, you keep on going down to the caves. If there's like shitloads, if there's so many of these levels, fair. But if there's only like, let's say 15, I don't know if it's worth that. If it's a number closer to 30 or 40 and they all feel genuinely unique and fresh and fun, fair enough. Musically, graphically, the whole destructibly, it all seems to be great. I can see a 70, and I think a 70 is fair. A friend of mine, who does have a YouTube channel, but he refuses to tell me it, did bring up a great point to me, though, in the fact that Nintendo is now offering people the free chance to play some of their games. Game sharing, the ever-awaited return of DS download play, is the reason, potentially, for why Mario Kart costs a wee bit more money. We were told in the Direct that select Nintendo Switch 2 titles will, in fact, allow for download play, down to the whole idea that maybe even Switch 1 owners could give it a try. What if this $10 price increase is due to this? Because Nintendo is losing money by offering this. You may think, well, no, because you could just play the game side by side on the couch, but not quite. Let's say you've got 4 people. To accommodate 4 people, you would need to have 4 functioning controllers. Now, the Switch 2 will come with 2 controllers. That's 2 sorted. You'll need another 2. You could just use the Switch 1 controllers. Yes, but also no, because to use the Switch 1 controllers, you will need the Switch 1 charging dock to plug in. Thus, you spend money to buy it. Or you spend money to get another set of Joy-Cons. Or your friend, one of them, I don't know which one, Jonathan, buys a Switch 2 of his own and thus you can split the 4 controllers. Game sharing now means that as long as everyone there owns some sort of Nintendo Switch, either 1 or 2, everyone can play. Thus, you don't need 4 controllers. Huh, really thinking about it that way? Yeah, I can see the bullshittery that Nintendo could be considering of, well, we're gonna lose money due to that, so let's put it onto the consumer. I disagree with this practice. The way download play was handled in New Super Mario Bros. And in Mario Kart DS was perfect. New Super Mario Bros. Gave you a taste of the platforming by offering 6 versus modes, no matter if you own the game or not. And you go to Mario Kart, you get to play a good chunk of the tracks. Sure, you don't get to pick your character or customization or anything like that, or experience a story mode, well, single player missions mode. Still, you are given a taste. The point of download play, you seem to have forgotten, is to be the first free hit, the first little baggie of crack you give someone, such that they get addicted and come back to you to pay. You shouldn't make us pay for freely advertising your game and freely giving you more opportunities to have customers. I thought we came to an agreement with that. You pulled the Nintendo Creators Program thing. What's the damage here? You know that you're not supposed to make us pay, and yet you're doing it again. Arguably, it's worse now, because before that was just to YouTubers like me, now it's to the regular man. Like Bill. Of course, there are more factors to consider here. For example, the price of everything in the whole world has gone up. There was a diagram created by the YouTube channel Nintendo Forecast showing off that if you account for inflation, Nintendo's actually kept their games the same price. In fact, Donkey Kong Bonanza is actually being sold for 10 below what it should be, according to that. So really, that game's being undersold. It's a bargain. However, Nintendo has just not at all talked about why they're pricing things like this now, and has had absolutely no communication and no transparency. This is why people are so dissatisfied. This is why the 2 Nintendo Live Treehouse streams were flooded with comments saying drop the price. It's because stuff like this is just not acceptable. Nintendo went in with an already shaky direct, not too well paced, and with some announcements that, while big for smart people, weren't really great for dumb people, have now lost any positivity they had due to the pricings, which they knew would be bad. Why else were they hidden in the direct? On the websites is when we got the pricings of the games. They hit them because they knew people wouldn't like it. Nintendo, if you're embarrassed by the prices, chances are they're probably not right. And Nintendo knows this because they have temporarily postponed Switch 2 pre-orders. Let's not beat around the bush here. Donald Trump's an evil fucking man, and what he's doing right now is destabilizing the whole world and the world's economy, down to even the little nice things. He has placed some new tariffs all over the show, and some of the shows he had placed them on were areas where Nintendo was doing a lot of production. Ergo, the price of manufacturing the Switch 2 increases even further. Thus, think a little bit more here. What does this mean, what I'm building up to? The fact that Nintendo might have to increase the price of the Switch 2. Only in America, but even still, that's a price increase. And they just do not want to have to do that, considering the fact that people are asking for a price decrease. This postponing is more than likely to examine the state in the world and try to figure out what the fuck to do. Because people are begging for games to cost less and for the system to cost less, but everything is making the company side of Nintendo need to make it more expensive. While I would like for there to be a price drop, truth be told, we'll be lucky if the price is locked. A price lock is the best we can hope for as things just get worse and worse and worse. Nintendo are going to have a hard time regaining community trust. I think showing off more games that will cost the regular $60, further going into detail about how there's a lot of Switch 1 games getting free updates into the Switch 2, maybe throwing more of those more expensive updates into NSO Plus might be good. I don't fully know what Nintendo's going to have to pull out of the bag here to make people happier, but what I do know is this: people are not happy. People are confused and people are scared. In times like this, the one thing that you can do, the one best thing you can do to ensure that at least you tame it a wee bit, is to be open. It won't make all the bad press go away, it won't fix everything, but a little bit of transparency can go a very long way. If I had to pose another suggestion, I think I've got an idea. You know what it is? Make the fucking Welcome Tour 3. Nintendo, what are you playing at? Wii Sports was free, and that is more of a game than this fucking tech demo piece of shit will ever be. That is the end of this video, a very negative one, but truth be told, this is the negative side of the Switch 2. As magical as so many parts of it is, you can't look past this, It's like you're eating a delicious dinner, but someone's literally dying and choking in the table next to you. You want to try focusing on your nice, well-done steak, but dear God, the person's gagging noises are really setting you off. I don't know why I'd want to leave a like on this video, but you certainly can. One button press away, just shove your finger or thumb or nose or ass on that thing. I don't really care how you press it, as long as you press it, I'm a bit happier. Comment down below what you think your whole thought process on the price. Can you even fucking afford the system? God knows I just about can, because I planned ahead expecting some sort of horse stickery like this. And if you want to see me talk about more positive aspects of the Nintendo Switch 2, subscribe subscribe. I've made and recorded there now a bunch of micro videos that I'll just be spewing all out. We've got one on Smash Bros, we've got one on Mario Kart, we've got one on Kirby Air Ride. Sure, some will have more to discuss than others, but point of the matter is I discuss them all, sister. The end of the video. Bye-bye.
Fucking dick!